Hello.
What's up, everyone?
So today we're going to be talking about base building and how it got started.
Yeah, talking about base building, that's news to everyone, I think. That's something very new for us.
So
Yeah, so we kind
let's
of
let's
we kind
dive
of
into
wanted
it.
to yeah, we kind of wanted to basically introduce how it all got started because I was actually there when Clan Wars began, and that's actually like the where when base building, like the way we know it now, actually got started, right? So that was. When were Clan Wars introduced? Like I'm
I
blanking
think
on the
it's
year because of
2014, early
14,
or
yeah.
late 13, something like that.
Yeah. So like between 13, 14, like end of 13, beginning of 14.
Yeah.
I still remember when In the Dark before that was still I think a farming clan, right? But they were like one of the few farming clans that were actually all maxed because most
Yeah.
farming clans were, baby town halls and then people were farming their heroes and all that stuff. And
People
In
were
the Dark
talking about
was,
farming and not farming actually.
yeah, they did the Ed
So
Ed style farming.
keyboard warrior farming clans.
Yeah. And I do still remember when Clan Wars got introduced, because before that it was literally like if you wanna, test yourself against the best, I guess, was go trophy pushing, but trophy pushing was quite a bit different back then. As I'm sure you are very well
Yeah.
aware. And once Clan Wars got introduced, then I think that's when the game actually like really changed, and then that's where it really does feel like it became, what we know today as in clan versus clan combat, right? Because before that, it was just like you were in a clan with people, you kind of got troops for them, you chatted a little bit, that was global, and that was pretty much it. And then after, it was actually about, clashing of different clans, like warring each other, and that's when I think people started realizing like, okay, maybe we can change our defenses a little bit to make it a little better,
And
right?
maybe we can kick out the people who can't attack.
Yeah, that's with the
Yeah.
people that
Yeah,
only
like
use barbarians and
push them to
archers.
the lower family clans.
Yeah, the feeder clans and the family clans. That was a whole thing back then. You had a
Okay,
main
so
clan
so
and then
this,
seven baby clans.
and now everybody who knows what I'm talking about gonna laugh. It's like the leader of the feeder clan and the feeder clan groups online.
Oh wow, yeah, that
The
was
drama.
because then the feeder clans wanted to be their own clans and they couldn't be, and then they couldn't change the name, and it was a whole big thing back then. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Um,
the personalities. I mean, like
it wasn't Clash of
it
Clans, it
was
was
something.
Clash of Personalities back then. Who
Yeah,
can be a
yeah.
bigger noob and talk
Or
more?
lack of personalities also.
Yeah, you could say that. You could say that, yeah. But
You
anyway,
continue. I'll make another coffee. Otherwise, we get deleted again. So
yeah, so once Clan Wars got introduced, I think people started realizing, because before that it was basically all
I told you
just,
I make a coffee.
okay. I was like, what's that sound? Let's just keep it going. Maybe people won't notice, but yeah, okay. Anyway, so yeah, people started doing because before that, I think I remember still the trophy bases, right? I think used a lot of those. Um, they were all like town halls in the middle, right? But that was back then before town hall did anything. It was just a building. It
And,
didn't shoot
and
back.
yeah, and also it was the times when you kind of had one good base and you just edit
Yeah,
it a little bit, you move a bit of the traps,
yeah,
and when you took a defense, you always need to have the base broken down. So there was like it was much more complicated
yeah. You
at
had
the
to
time. But I
reset
think
the
the
trap
biggest
still. Yeah,
difference, like you said, that it was that the town hall was the most protected, and then
yeah.
when war bases came, because I also remember first seeing, I'm like, this is easy. You get the town hall, you get 2 stars are easy.
Yeah. That was the kind of the thing. So
Yeah.
it went from that kind of pushing style basis that everyone kind of just ran in wars. And I still remember the first base I actually saw where a Chinese player, I genuinely don't remember the name. They were from Fengtian, I think they were kind of the first ones to introduce, I guess, the first one to try it out, and they realized like, look, we're gonna get 2 stars regardless, right?
Yeah,
So let's just ignore the town hall. Let's put it somewhere where it can, maybe do a little protecting of some defenses because it does have a lot of hit points. Um, so instead, what they did, they put the CC, the clan castle, in the middle,
yeah,
and that kind of made it impossible because back then there were no poison spells, right? So people
yeah.
ran witches in clan castles, in defensive clan castles,
Oh, they were so annoying.
and you had to like press
And
the
you
lightning.
you had to lure it out and deal with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And then the
Yeah.
lightning spell was
Yeah, I was gonna
random.
just say that because
Yeah,
when
yeah,
it was
yeah.
cool, then this started. So something was done, and the meta
Mm.
changed completely. Like lightning spells, and this was the time when there were 2 units still. The lightning spells, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
now
yeah,
it's
yeah.
one. That
Now
time it
it's
was
one. That
two.
was back two.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
well, I don't think all spells were the same. I don't think we had
yeah.
just like
Everything
a
was
spell. You had
two.
like four
Yeah,
spells available. Yeah, everything was two, and then they
yeah,
kind of did the free spell was
yeah,
one and haste and everything. But the
yeah.
problem with the lightning spell was it was random. Like the when it hit the tiles, it was randomly
Ooh,
spawned. It wasn't the same all the time. So if you miss those witches,
yeah. And
yeah, good luck with
then you
that.
did the remember that it's also some people kind of figured out the pattern how random it was because it strikes somewhere.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
if
yeah.
you wanna if they're there and you wanna hit there, you need to point
You
it
gotta
there. So you
press
need to
yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was
There
something
were
like
pictures going around with
yeah.
people saying like you should click here if the witches are there, and
And
it was a
actually
whole science.
now the lightning is it's not lightning, it's a zap. It just
Now
zaps
it's a zap.
once.
Now it's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
space.
and where
Yeah,
you hit
yeah,
it, it zaps. But before it
yeah.
was weird. That's why you lure the CC out and then you take care of it manually, basically.
Yeah,
It
I
was
think the
2-2-3 in
two
your
two three.
CC against two
Yeah,
two three on the other corner,
yeah,
and
yeah,
that
yeah,
should
yeah.
take it out.
So you basically lured
Yeah,
and then took it to a corner and then put your own CC in there, and then they kind of
yeah,
battled it out,
yeah.
and
They
you
and then
can
you can
attack it.
focus on the
Yeah,
raid.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So they figured out that look, the CC is kind of a problem to deal with if you can't lure it out, right? Because in the trophy bases, you had the town hall in the middle, CC a little lower down, higher, whatever. It was a little,
Yeah.
off center, and then it was easier to just like, use a couple of hogs, a giant, whatever, to pull the CC out and then do what we just explained.
Yeah.
And once they did that switch, that was like, okay, wait, now what do we do, right? Because now you got the CC, you got to deal with it during your raid, and if you miss that lightning spell, then yeah, good luck with that. So they
And
kind
also
of
with the yeah, and the witches were a problem because if you go from air, they still come out. If you
yeah,
had a lava and you go by air,
it
it's
will pull
okay.
the yeah, yeah, yeah.
You don't get it. It's you don't need to
Hmm.
deal with it. But that was
Hmm.
like and the power
It
of that
was
was so
crazy.
great that you can waste all of your spell basically just to take out the
Just to
CC and
take
you
at
can
the
still win.
CC.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly, and I remember the I think it was called the Dragonflower base. That's the name they gave it, but it was
Yeah.
you know I guess similar to like a square base now, except the
Yeah.
CC was in the middle, the town hall was a little deeper in, like kind of a square teaser style bases that are like really popular still. And then the four squares on the edges, and then the corners. And yeah, I still remember those bases. I made so many of those bases, but
How
um,
many of guys from those times still built? Because I think all of these
yeah,
builders now today they rose like when in the
yeah,
last couple
I
of years
think pretty
and there's
much
a lot
all
of
the
virtual
builders
yeah and there's a lot of
active
virtual
now.
builders.
Um, like that virtual DJ program that people use on their computer. That's what the builders are now.
No, I mean that some everybody's a builder and then
Yeah,
they
yeah,
don't
yeah.
just
I get
build.
it.
So like I mean,
Um,
if you give same as a writer, if you give a piece of empty paper, can they write anything or do they need Chat GPT, DPDDD, or like do they just copy paste? Because most
I
builders build from links
from
now.
from the people I know, I don't think anyone's active still. There are some builders that are active from, I guess, the Elite Clan War days, but that was 2017, 20, like that was right before Clash kind of went competitive, right, with the esports and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe a builder or two from there still, but from the people that were back, like when Clan War started, yeah, I think all of them are gone by now. I think I'm the only one still left kicking and breathing.
So basically, if you calculate all of these serious builders, combine their years, you still have more.
Yeah, could be. I probably have more bases built too, to be honest. Like
Dude,
I had a
you're old.
period. No, no, we're not talking about that. Come on, it's
You're
Clash.
old.
Let's stay
But
to
you build a lot. So the base number, of course, is
yeah,
different because if you've been building
yeah,
100 per week for the last 10 years,
yeah. I built
dude,
a lot
you've
of
been
bases,
building
dude.
for
It's
10
been
years soon.
It's pretty crazy. No, because the thing is, like, I was actually building bases before
Yeah,
Clan Wars got started, but it was like for anyone that's still, maybe watching it with active way back then and still remembers, it
yeah,
was no base editor, right? So what I used to do, and that's I think kind of
yeah.
speaks on how much I do enjoy doing this. It's not just something that I kind of stuck to, but I genuinely do like doing it. I would have to put all my buildings into one corner, all my walls into another corner, and then start from the middle, and then move piece by piece, wall
So
piece by wall
basically,
piece.
first cancel everything. So basically, to move everything around and then
There
start.
was there was
And you
no
couldn't have
button, yeah.
yeah, and you couldn't have a empty and you couldn't have
N-
a
There
empty
was
canvas
no,
because yeah,
yeah, like there was not even a button to take you to somewhere where you could like
yeah,
click
yeah.
and stuff. No, it was like you were on like kind of just, the main
Home
base
village
screen,
stage in a sense. Yeah,
home village. Yeah, you
yeah,
don't have anything. So
yeah,
it was like, trying to not click the buttons, not to attack while I'm moving stuff and building my base. And
yeah,
that's where when I began, right? And so
yeah,
when Clan Wars hit, I was like, oh, this is different. Like now I can actually, use, because I was making farm bases, I guess, but I was farming in Gold League, Crystal League, like with Barch,
yeah,
so I can get as much loot as possible and lose as little loot as possible. And when war started, I was like, well, this is different now, right? Like now I can actually defend big armies and I don't have to push up to I guess champion was the biggest league back then. So once I kind of talked to a friend that was in the dark when war started, he was like, "Come join here. You'll see what like wars actually are about."
yeah,
And when I joined and when I saw some of those bases, I was like, "What are you doing? Like the town hall is." What's wrong with you? You can't just give away your town hall, right? And that's when I kind of started
yeah.
putting stuff together. I'm like, whoa, okay, like this is different, right? And I think the base editor came not long after that, and that's when it actually
And
like I was
also,
like,
I
okay, now
think
this
the
is what I
key
want to
part was
do.
also then the strategies started to evolve, and that's when everything went into this, like, that the meta changes weekly.
Oh, the strategy changed. Do you know
Yeah,
someone maybe that could, talk
yeah,
about that? Maybe a big
yeah,
strategy change back in
yeah,
2013. Do you know someone that could
yeah.
maybe speak about that? Maybe someone
Do you know
that kind
anyone?
of introduced a little thing called
I don't have that
Lalo.
many friends. I
No?
don't have that many friends
Yeah,
in
I'm
Clash.
blanking on the name. I don't remember who it actually was.
No,
Yeah.
but I'm actually talking because of the first time when I came to Inderag and saw the attacks. It was this hybrid Pekka Hog
Yeah,
attacks,
yeah, Go
and
Wipe. It
I
was all
was
Go
like
Wipe. Yeah.
watching this that I don't see what is happening here. Like,
Yep.
how can you tour the base like this?
Mm.
And it's like, and against all of this, because pushing was people had skill, but then most people were just getting that 1 star because
Lunian was,
you
I
got the
think
same
Lunian
you got the
it was
same amount
called.
of
Yeah.
trophies. You got if you were high up, you got one. So then they were
Yeah.
pretty much
You can
lost.
triple for two, or you can get one for a 1 star. So what's
Yeah,
the
or
point,
triple
right?
is still one. So
Yeah.
I
I
always went
remember.
for
I
two.
used that. I used that
Yeah,
army too, right? It was just like so many balloons with some rage spells, and then
yeah,
so many minions to clean up and grab the town hall.
yeah.
I do remember
But
still that.
then
Yeah.
it was like and when you have several strategies started out, and then I remember when the mortars need to put in the end corners. Because witches came and it was
Oh
like
my
these
God.
sometimes there was these and you can see the traumas are coming in that I'm the base builder of the clan and then we just got destroyed
Dude,
fresh.
nine witches.
Yeah,
That army was,
yeah.
oh my God, I hated that army. Like that was
That's why you
worse
don't
to
have
me
hair in
than,
the middle of your head. It's
yeah, let's say that's the reason, dude. I think that was worse than the Root Riders. Maybe not worse, but it was up there, man, because we
yeah.
got surprised by some Vietnamese, I think.
No, it was the
Oh my
Chinese. I think it
God.
was one of the
Chinese,
Chinese
yeah,
clan.
I
Yeah, I
don't
remember
remember.
that.
It
Yeah,
was, we
yeah,
lost. That was the first loss we got in, I don't know, like maybe a year or something
yeah,
from witches, dude. Oh my God.
yeah.
I was
No,
so annoyed.
and when you know that the bases are set, they're coming. Oh, this is gonna be a red one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's already
But I
done.
think, yeah, the game
But that's
absolutely changed when
yeah,
a little someone figured out that maybe the new troop, it was called the Lava Hound, got
yeah,
introduced. And what if we use that with our balloons? And I think
yeah.
that person kind of did a lot to change. our meta back then.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny. I get some credits, but I remember it was like a lot of people playing around with it, and it was actually Boss Hog. There's actually a video on YouTube channel that who invented LavaLooning,
Hmm.
and then it became very very cool. And now, if you still see the most complicated, most powerful strategy
Yeah,
still
are
up to date
still
is
building it up.
LavaLooning, and some
Well,
versions of that, yeah,
to me personally, Lalo will always be something that I enjoy watching the most. I did a lot of Lalo for, people that remember me from the ITD days. All I did was Lalo, right? I started with Lalo with the Golem Kill Squad and the jump from the corner, right? That was
yeah.
a very popular one. Then people figured out we were gonna use Lava Hounds on defense. That was like, oh my God, that sucks, right? Because now I gotta deal with a
I remember
Hound with
those.
my
You
heroes.
have the heroes in the middle, they're getting
Yeah.
fired, and then the queen is just shooting up, and you're like, okay,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
done.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when people started running queen walks. I still remember those wars when people didn't know queen walks were a thing. We saw them. I don't know who used them. It wasn't in ITD. It was someone else. And then we were like, oh wow, this is actually amazing. Let's try this out. Like four healers and a queen, like she can die, okay? And then
Yeah.
we matched with one of the Art of War clans, a baby clan, but it was like Art of War members. They hunted us. Um, I think we're gonna talk about that in a later video. But yeah,
Yeah.
how
Oh yeah,
things
yeah.
worked
That's
back
cool.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh yeah. This is like
so,
Elite
so
Wars.
remember
I
this.
just would
Yeah,
note.
yeah,
Hunting
remember
was a
this.
big thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I'll put
remember
there
this
like
for the next
hunts.
one. This is gonna be
Yeah.
fun. But I remember seeing that, and then they hunted us not long after we saw those raids, and their
Yeah.
bases were not set up against Queen Wogs because no bases were set up against Queen Wogs because nobody used them, right? And I remember still going, I think 4 or 5 out of 5 in that war with Queen Wogs, right? Like me, what? And that was a fun war, man. That was cool.
Yeah. There's. I like to do the ITD series that there's like some of the old reminiscence of the
Mm,
strategies because you see some of the big wars,
yeah,
and it's cool that I have pretty much all stuff from Clash recorded from 2014 onwards, basically.
that's
It's kind
history
of cool
right
to
now,
see
man. Yeah.
how the game have changed
I think
and
what's interesting the most for me is just how much, like, if you look at the meta now and how wars and even competitive stuff work, the way we did Elite Wars, it's very, very reminiscent of how things are now, or like the other way around, because you can definitely see the influence, like Elite Clan Wars with the base building especially had the effect on competitive now because what we did with bases back then, that's what competitive Clash is now, right? That's what defense is
yeah,
now in Clash. Build bases for specific enemies and test those specific armies, trap them and make them fail, right?
yeah.
It was all about preventing fresh triples, and now all you can do is fresh triple with, like, one attack per war in competitive. So it's pretty crazy how far it's gotten. Yeah.
And also, if you go, our next video is going to be about Legends League. I think still the if you go to absolute top where the best are, it is still the same. There's 8 attacks, and the one
Mm.
thing that you want is to get one star there. So you're going to gamble everything. Basically, you
Yeah.
already lost when you are there. So
Yep.
you just want that below 300 for the end days, so you climb up.
Yep.
That's the same thing you're wishing.
That's
Same
yeah.
as I remember the times when you're wishing for some noob to come in, so you have a
Yeah.
chance to survive.
So you don't get minus 39 or something.
Yeah, or the -60, because
Oh my
that
God.
was the worst thing when you saw somebody with the full hog army. Like, uh-oh, this is gonna not end well.
Pray
There's
to
two
the Clash
options.
gods, yeah.
Otherwise it will, you'll
Yeah.
you don't even get a shield, and you're gonna need to go again, or it will get you that minus beautiful 60 or 59, and you're gonna be, yes,
Oh
that's
my
my two
God.
weeks of progress.
Yeah, that's literally 2 weeks, yeah.
And also for the
Um,
wars, like remember the time and the effort that we put in that, and what we got was absolutely nothing. Like there was no money, there was no rewards, there was
that's
nothing. It was just for the joy
yeah, the
and the emotion,
passion,
the
I guess, for
feeling.
the game,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and it's like
I think people really genuinely don't realize how much work went into, like,
yeah,
from someone that was in part of, like, top organization, top leadership of literally the best, probably the best work clan in Clash history, right? I'm super humble, so let's just say
me too.
that. Um, People genuinely, like, the 24-hour war day was easy compared to like let's say the 23-hour, 24-hour prep day. As soon as you got matched and you saw a name, right next to
Yeah,
ours in a clan war, that was like, oh my God, this again, right? Oh, great.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm not gonna sleep. That's awesome. And genuinely, that's what it was like. Like if we got matched to someone that we didn't plan on getting matched, I would stay up. I need to, even if I couldn't build 50 bases, 50 fresh bases, I still had to check all of our bases, make sure that we changed the one that
Yeah.
needed to be changed first, and then change as many as possible. We need to use the good bases, not the bad bases.
And
We
no
need to use the
links.
correct, no links, so everything
Yeah.
has to be copied,
So
and then you
basically,
had to hunt people down. Oh
yeah,
my
and
God.
even just as you were like me, I wasn't a part of the leadership in that sense. Of course, the propaganda machine, but not the actual leadership. But everybody had their like, I mean, YouTube propaganda. It's funny, Kim Jong Il
Potato,
times.
yeah.
But I mean, like the thing that how much of thing there was just to lead everybody that okay, everybody has a job. So first, then go and do the fresh 2 stars, so that we
Yeah.
have everything 2 star. If there was somebody who 1 star there, one attack less for the guys to go for the triple. So it was
Mm.
just leading that part, and then just the base building. So there was so much to do, and just like it took me 40 minutes to build a base from a picture. So just even to do that, and that was the kind of the minimum. Okay, I didn't need to plan an attack because I know how to 2 star. It was my cup of tea. But it
Yeah.
was like so much of things, and how it was controlled and run like a symphony. I remember that was the most amazing thing was that everybody had a job and everybody knew what to do.
Yeah.
That was
And
the cool
then,
parts.
and it was my job to keep getting on your ass to build a base or you
Yeah,
forgot again
exactly.
for the
Yeah,
next war. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. That
yeah,
was
exactly.
my
Yeah,
job. That
I
was
have people
fun.
are like, oh, I need to build again, and dude is like, I just build 100 in 2 days, so
Yeah.
shut
Just
and
yeah, just
do it.
copy the base. Yeah, just
Yeah,
copy the base,
yeah.
dude.
You
Just
don't
copy the
build
base.
anything, you copy. Just
Copy the
do it.
base, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was fun. Like I can say it wasn't, during it was stressful, but then after war started, I did some managing, but mostly it was I was kind of, I guess, hitting, tripling, trying to get triples. And then once I did my hits, and then the last couple of hours of war, that kind of, last three,
Yeah,
4 hours when you saw the score going up and you were like,
yeah.
oh wow, this is close. And then that
We're now
euphoria.
at 20 minutes or something.
Oh wow.
I wanna change the next topic. We're gonna do EdCasting. It's gonna be about spies. We talked about that.
I don't. You talking to me? I don't know anything about
Yeah,
that. I don't.
yeah.
First time I've
But
heard
you
about spies. What's that?
Yeah. So we're gonna scratch a little bit of the elite clan wars next, and a bit of the spies and the hunts, because it's something super. It will give you guys an idea of what was happening back then, and it's like it's fun. So we're gonna do that one next. So now we say bye bye and see you next week, and we talk about elite clan wars, because it's not good to swap now to pushing because we're in this is war mode. So let's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
nail this down and go and talk about elite wars
Definitely
back in the
catch the
days,
next one, guys. It's
and
gonna be interesting.
spies and hunting, and yeah,
Hopefully we have a guest because I know nothing about any of that. I don't
I
know.
hope we also do.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Ciao.